For the heck you are. Hope you had a great weekend. It's Monday. We got work to do. We got orders to ship out on eBay, Poshmark, and Amazon. No Mercari this weekend. So we got those three platforms going out. Slower weekend for me. A step down from last weekend. I feel like I had 33 orders over the weekend last weekend. And this weekend, Friday through Sunday, I had 26 orders. So a little bit of a step down. Was hoping for a step up as we move later and later into September, but that's what happens. The ups and downs of the retail business, it happens. Who knows? Maybe today is going to be a really busy day. It was a good day Friday, but then the weekend, like Saturday, Sunday, were both slow for me. So welcome in. Hope you're having a great start to your week. I'm happy to share some time and be a part of that start to the week. Welcome in. Welcome in. Happy Monday. Let's get some work done. So if you're new to these lives, I'm going to go through all the orders from the weekend. I did ship on Saturday, so we're just going to look at the last 48 hours of sales. I'm going to show you everything I sold. I'm going to tell you how much it sold for, how much I paid for it, how long it took to sell, what about what my profit is per item. We'll go through it all so you can see exactly what's selling for our small business right now. So welcome in. I'd love to hear about your business too. If you had some good sales, I want to hear about those. If you were out and about and you found some cool stuff at estate sales or garage sales or thrift stores, I want to hear about that stuff too. And if you're new to this channel, also, we've been doing this for 7 years now. And it's been full time for almost 5 years. December will mark 5 years since I last had a jobby job. So appreciate everybody being here. Say hello if you haven't already. Billy Bob, same for me. Sunday was a letdown across the platform. This week, gonna be great though. I like that attitude, Billy Bob. A down day means that a good day or maybe 5 good days in a row are coming. So welcome in everybody. Hope you're having a good start to the week. Let's ship some orders. You let me know. You're the boss for just a moment. Are we going to ship eBay, Poshmark, or Amazon first? You get to just write it down below in the chat. eBay, Amazon, or Poshmark first. And that's what we'll do. First one I see down below will be the boss for a moment. We get one boss for one moment every week. Morning from sunny Arizona. That's awesome. We got some sun today too. We had a great weekend. We had it was a warm day Saturday, and then yesterday was a cool day, but both we were outside. We did a lot of hiking, 11.3 miles on the trail this weekend. 2 pretty hard hikes too, particularly Saturday. That was a hard hike. 7.3 miles, which isn't crazy long, but man, it was crazy steep. Shetty comes in first with the eBay. Nick Smith a little late on the Amazon. We're going to go with my friend Shetty. Poshmark easiest. Yeah, I agree with you on that, Billy Bob. But Shetty got in with that first one. Welcome in, everyone. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. As always, if you're busy doing stuff, you miss things, you can't follow along, these lives are available as a replay on both YouTube and on Facebook. As soon as this live is over, you can rewatch it, fast forward through the boring stuff, rewind to catch the stuff that's important. We don't have a lot of sales today, but we have some really good sales. I think we got some teachable moments and stuff too. We're going to start with eBay because Tim said so. Tim's the boss. What's up, Tim? Hope you had a good weekend. Hello from Washington State, finishing last order and headed to $2 day at Goodwill. That's awesome. I wish we had $2 days at Goodwill's. Our Goodwills are like, you don't get any sales, any discounts ever. So that's awesome. I hope you have some good luck today. What's up, Trisha? All right, eBay first. Let's get these shipping labels printed out. 11 orders on eBay and actually 12. One just came in right before I went live. So we'll ship that one out too. But let's get these orders going. Tell me about your weekend. What happened? What you get into? What'd you find? What'd you sell? I want to hear it all. If you haven't hit that like button, that helps us out. If you haven't followed and subscribed on all the platforms, or Chris at Peak at all the platforms, you can find a link to all our stuff, all our stores, eBay storefronts, Poshmark, Mercari, all that stuff. You can find it if you just tap the link below or go to chrisatpeak.com. You can find out more about our business if you're interested in doing that. And I will drop down below in the chat too all the tools that we're going to use today. And every tool that I use in my business is linked right here in the chat. If you're watching on Instagram, you won't see it in the chat because you can't click links in the chat, but you can just tap on my name, go to my profile, and you can find that same list of suggested reseller tools. That's the stuff that we're going to use today, right down to this workbench. Everything is linked in there. I definitely need to get more NFL merch up. It's going to get crazy for sales. Yes, it's already NFL time. If you don't have your NFL stuff up already, you're late. You're late because everyone wants to buy right now. And then once your team gets a bad injury or two or loses a couple of games to start the season, you lose hope. But right now, everybody has hope. And quickly every week we're going to lose a little bit of hope. Same with like NCAA. You want that stuff listed already. Get it up. $2 day is unheard of in Illinois. Yeah, I hear you. We don't have any of those discounts either, Nick. Yeah. What's up, brother? Good to see you. That's awesome. That's awesome. A little chitter chatter in the chat. I like it. First up is an order for Taylor. And this is the first order that came in for the weekend. And this is an awesome order. You're actually not going to be able to see it, but this sale right here is, where is it? It's going out to Taylor in Van Wert, Ohio, $98.99 for this jacket right here. It's cashmere and wool. I'm going to show you. Let's bring it up. Let's do a shared screen right here, since I can't show you the tag or anything. I think this sold quickly too, but let's go ahead and I'll show you this listing. There it is. Share screen. Yep. So I don't know if I'm going to say this brand name right, but that's the tag right there, Loden Fry. And you can see that this is a cashmere. It says it right there. So let's go. And this is the why are people beeping? This ain't the city. This is the country out here. So you can see on the tag right there, wool, polyester, and cashmere on this. And here's what the jacket looks like. It's a big, long jacket, insulated, little plaid line on the inside. Look at that. Just a beautiful piece. So again, $98.99, full asking price on this. I priced at the bottom of the market. I wanted to be the first one to sell. So I was. So I really like that. So I don't know if that's something that I've never come across that before. I don't know if that's going to be a common find, but if you find a long wool coat that's wool and or cashmere, that's definitely something that you want to look up. That one sold for me in a grand total of, wait for it. Where is that sale? It sold in 3 days. It sold in 3 days. So it's really hard to beat a 3-day sale on a $100 item like that. I actually had that one stashed away for a little bit, and I'll show you the tag one more time in case you're just walking in. There it is. That's the brand Loden Fry. But I stashed this away. I found this, I guess, early spring this year, and I had bought, my thrift stores were popping back in the spring. So I was just finding so much stuff. So I did put a couple of boxes of items out in the garage that were like pants, jeans, heavy jackets that I was like, I'm not going to have time to list this right now. I got so much summertime stuff coming in. So I packed those away and just opened up a couple of those boxes last week and the week before and got those things listed, all the, like the winter time stuff. So that was part of that, those couple of boxes. So although it took 3 days to sell, it was listed for 3 days. I actually picked that up back in it was probably March or April or something like that, when my thrift stores were just like, stuff was just jumping off the racks into my cart. It was just so good. It slowed down for sure. But at that point, I just had to stash some stuff away. AZ is sweet though. We get some back and forth chat, and I like that little community going on here. I like it. I like it. I like that you're not talking to me. You're just talking to each other. You don't even need Chris to be here. So anyway, this one sold. This is going to go out. It's going to be a 4-pound rate. It's only going to Ohio, so it's not going to cost me much. The shipping label, even though this is going to go out at 4 pounds, it's going to be $8 for this to ship out. So I'm glad this isn't going to California. It'd be a lot more money. The buyer paid $12.95 shipping. It's only costing me $8 to ship. I actually got some eBay shipping supplies with my quarterly coupon over the weekend. So they sent it in this eBay box. So I'm going to use that, recycle that eBay box, and send this back out to Taylor. My shipping supplies actually came yesterday. It was interesting to get a Sunday FedEx delivery. This doesn't have to go in a box. I could just put this in a poly bag, but I looked over there on the ground. I was like, oh yeah, I got these eBay shipping supplies. That looks like a perfect size box. Let's use it. So we are. I'll cover up the original shipping label with this one. And actually, I'll probably double cover it just in case. We like the bins in Jacksonville. We always score. Nice. Nice. So first sale, $100 one. I paid $9.99 for this jacket at a thrift store, and it sold in 3 days. Actually, I'm going to put one of my stickers on the outside here. There it is. First order out the door, and it's a good one. Next up is actually another pretty good one too. LL Bean. This is a women's jacket. So it's women's, it's corduroy, and it's a women's size large. So corduroy jacket, it's kind of got a cool style to it. I'll show you this one too. Let's do a shared screen. Let's do it. Let me show you it. Worth looking at, I think. There's so much LL Bean out there at thrift stores and garage sales. So let's go ahead and share this. There it is. So this is the item right here that we're shipping. Women's size large, corduroy. You can see the tag right there. I don't know, kind of a cool piece. Kind of got some cool, like 4 little pockets going on it. I don't know, it's got some cool vibes to it. I thought this would be a good seller. I paid $7 for it. It sold for 29 bucks. Figured I'd show you that one. This one's going to Kathleen. How long did this one take to sell? This one took 6 months to sell. So I picked this up in February. I picked this up in March. So end of the winter, you know, you can price it aggressively, hope it sells quick. If it doesn't, you're going to sell at the very beginning of the fall season because your price is aggressive. So 6 months to sell on this, but this is the time of year you expect something like this to sell. Corduroy jacket ain't really a summertime thing, especially from a brand like LL Bean, which tends to be a mediocre resell value and like a lower sell-through rate type of item. So you kind of expect that to sit through the summer and then sell right away. September, this sold yesterday, so September the 7th, early fall. Technically not even fall, but it's fall shopping season for sure. We're definitely selling jackets and stuff already. Love the screen share. You're welcome, Flipology. Flipology is in the house. Appreciate all your support. Appreciate all your comments and stuff. I see you. I notice that. What's up, Blake? What's a typical week like for you, Chris, between sourcing, listing, YouTube, and shipping? It's a great question. We're starting to settle into like a new little routine and rhythm. So typically Mondays, I will do a lot of content. So I've already been working on content today. I do my live stream on Mondays too. And I do my shipping for the weekend on today as well. So that's kind of the Monday routine is mostly just shipping and content creation. Tuesdays, I spend a lot of time sourcing. So I ship first thing in the morning and then I get out and I source. Wednesday is kind of a wild card day. Some days I source on Wednesdays and some days I do a lot of content on Wednesdays. I always source on Thursdays. So I ship in the morning and then I get out and source on Thursdays. And then Friday is another wild card day. I always work on a little bit of content, but I can also work on other things for the business too. Because I have the coffee business and stuff too. And I got to keep up with like bookkeeping and all that stuff. So Wednesdays and Fridays are kind of wild cards. I don't do much on the weekends. I don't source on the weekends. And I ship on Saturdays. I don't do anything on Sunday except for pushing some drafts. So that's kind of the routine for the week. It's usually Tuesday, Thursday sourcing, but sometimes it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And sometimes I'll hit like a quick store or two on Friday, depending on what I'm feeling. So that's kind of the new rhythm that I've been settling into. And I kind of like it, but I'll probably switch it up just because, I don't know, I like being a creature of habit, but I also I kind of get bored. So I like to mix things up a little bit too. So I don't like to have too much of a routine. I came over to YouTube to see who else was in Jacksonville. I like it. What did I miss here? Gary. Oh yeah. You guys going back and forth. I like it. What did I miss here? New seller here. Can you talk about what level you get coupons, credits for eBay supplies? Yeah, we can do that. It's pretty straightforward, but I want to make sure I get my my terminology right. So at the first eBay subscription, I'm just going to Google it and I'll give us some visuals. I always find it's better to have a multimedia when you teach or talk. So let's show and tell. So you don't get the coupon at the lowest level of subscription. Here's what I'm looking for. Perfect. Let's share the screen here. Good question. And before we kind of like dig deep into this too, I'll say like don't get super excited about the coupon for the free shipping supplies. The shipping supplies are overpriced, and then you get a coupon and you get them for free. It is what it is. I use it because I have it, but the supplies are so much more expensive if you buy them from eBay. You can get them for cheap elsewhere. We have all our shipping supplies, by the way, linked right here. All the stuff that we use for our business, that link is down below in the chat right now. It's also always available at chris@peak.com, or if you go to my profile, you'll find that same link. But so anyway, so the question is, which stores do you get the eBay, the quarterly coupon for eBay shipping supplies? So the starter store does not come with it. The $4.95 store does not. The basic store does. And this is when you first get the $25 coupon. So you get $25 that you can use to eBay shipping supplies. When you jump up to the premium store, the $60 a month, they give you $50 every quarter when you get the premium store. And that's what I have. I get $50 every quarter to buy eBay shipping supplies. So again, recap: starter stores, you don't get any coupon. Basic store, you get a $25 coupon. Premium store, you get a $50 coupon. I think you also get a $50 coupon for the Anchor store. I'll click on it and see. Benefits. Huh? I guess it's not going to tell me. But I'm pretty sure it's still $50 when you go up to from premium to Anchor. Anyway, that's our little shared screen. Hope that helps. Let me know if you have follow-up questions for that. But again, don't get too excited about the coupon for the free eBay shipping supplies. They're really overpriced. You can get them cheaper other places. What's up, WK? Welcome in. Good to see you. Always appreciate your support. You're welcome, Blake. All right, next up is 2 orders down. This is a really interesting order. I don't know if there's any like learning here. I bought a whole bunch of stuff from an eBay seller. This might have been like 2019 at a garage sale. It was actually an Amazon seller that was getting out of the business. And I bought a ton of stuff from him. He had a bunch of like multi-quantity stuff like this, like sporting goods and whatever. And he was getting out of the business because he was a professional sea glass hunter. That was his other thing he did. So they ran an Amazon store out of their house, but he was also a professional sea glass hunter, which is crazy. Really interesting guy. Anyway, I had bought a bunch of stuff like this from him for cheap. This is 2 youth athletic supporters, kind of one of the funnier things that I've sold over the years. I bought a big old box of these from him. I think I paid like 30 cents a piece for these. And I sold most of them. There's still a few hanging out in the garage. I almost kind of forgot about these. I haven't sold any in a while. So this pack of 2 sold for $8.96 plus shipping. So probably the smallest sale, $8.96. Maybe that might be the lowest sale price of the year for me. I don't sell a lot of stuff like this. But again, I think I'm into these total 60 cents. And this sold for $8.96. I think I paid like 32 cents or something like that a piece for those. So kind of a funny item. I think I always get a kick out of these when they sell. Kim gets a kick out of it too. She thinks it's funny. So 2 of these sold. We'll get these out the door. I don't know. There's much learning there. I do like those kind of like multi-quantity buyouts because it's just every now and again these sell. I make a few bucks. It doesn't take me a lot of work. It's one listing that has multi-quantity. And again, I've probably sold somewhere around 60 of these already. So I've already like way made all my money back and made some profit on these. The listing just sits there, and every now and again, a couple of them sell. I actually had somebody buy he must have been a coach for a sports team. He bought like 18 or 20 of them at one point in time. That was a couple of years ago, but again, an old listing that just kind of keeps trickling out the door. It makes me a couple of bucks every now and again. These are going to Leandra. Kids probably playing, I don't know, football or soccer or baseball, something with a ball, and he wants to protect his things. What's up, Tish? How are you? What is up? How is your family? Appreciate having you in here. Next up, some back-to-back Levi's action for you. They're both brand new with tags. First one is 501. These are the button flies. So brand new with tags, size 40 by 32. These are like a black color. And these sold for $36.99, which is my full asking price. I typically pay about $13 a piece for these. either 13 or 16 are the two price points that I typically pick these up for. So we'll call it the average in the middle. My average buy cost on these, for when you see me sell Levi's that are new with tag, my average buy cost is $14.50. These are going to Brenda. Thank you. And again, these sold for $36.99. Not big profit margin stuff, but it's just a good consistent seller for me, especially this time of year. Like jeans, Levi's jeans go out the door, especially the new stuff. I've been slow on my used Levi's since I started this 90. I'm trying to get to 90 Levi's, 90 pairs of Levi's sold in 90 days, starting September the 1st. So after these two go out, today's September the 8th. So we're through 7 days and I've sold 6. So 6 Levi's pairs sold in the first 7 days of the month. I'm trying to average one a day for 90 days all the way through December 1 or like November 30th, I guess officially. But busy, where is town? What? What's up, Miss Tempting Treasures? I'm not sure I understand the question. Maybe I missed something. Doing good. Wife has settled back down. I'm really, really happy to hear that. Saving the future kids. Yeah, you got it. You got it. Thanks for the chuckle. Next up, these are Levi's 511s. These sold for full asking price, $33.99. I typically price the Levi's 501s a couple dollars more than all the other ones. So this is size 34, 36, a nice dark wash. Sold for $33.99 plus the buyer's paying $8.95 shipping. And these are out the door. So 6 Levi's through 7 days. Hoping to sell a couple today, get caught up. I want to get on pace for one a day. We'll see jeans get more and more, like they'll sell better and better as we move through into like October, particularly. October, November, I'll sell like a ton. So if I can stay on pace for one a day right now in September, once we get into October and November, I should be cranking, especially if I can keep finding them. That'll be the key too. I need to keep bringing them in every week. What Levi's style are you looking for primarily? You ready for this? Refine your style. I look for 501s, 502s, 505s, 511s, 514s, 517s, 541s, 550s, 569s, 560. What did I miss? You're probably picking up. I pick up all the 5 series Levi's if I can find them for cheap enough. I typically pay $5 for jeans at my thrift store. So I pick up all the Levi's 5 series. As long as they're in good condition and they're $5 or less, I grab them. I definitely miss some 5 series in there too, but you get the idea. Those are some of the more common ones that I find. Next up is LL Bean. Okay, so you guys know I talk about stuff from like mediocre brands. I talk about selling the good stuff from mediocre brands. It's one of my favorite things to do. But in order to get all that knowledge about what sells from these mediocre brands, it means I have to buy and sell a lot of this stuff and take some chances and try some stuff out. And sometimes things don't work out really awesome. So one thing I've done over the years is I've picked up LL Bean that are not like the typical like button-up twill style shirts, right? Those casual cotton ones. I'll pick up things that are a little bit different. This one right here is a quarter zip, like little athletic hiking running piece. It's 100% polyester, so moisture wicking, whatever. I picked this up a couple of years ago. It took a couple of years to sell. I paid $4 or $5 for it, and it sold for $15.30. So I finally marked down a whole bunch of this like fringy LL Bean stuff. I just marked it down like 3 weeks ago, and I've sold like 5 pieces. I actually have another one that we're going to ship out today too. So maybe 5 or 6 pieces of these fringy LL Beans. That's the way I learn. Like I don't learn by, like I just don't know this stuff, right? I try stuff that like I think might sell well for brands that are kind of meh brands, and I see what happens. And this is part of, this is a trial. I picked up a lot of polyester ones thinking I might be able to get 20 bucks from them. And the reason I do that is because I cross list. I use automation tools to show up higher in search results. I have really good photos. I dominate with keywords. I do a really nice job. So to me, like I do all those things that give me a competitive advantage, including promoting on eBay. So I feel like I can sell things for a higher price and quicker than some other people can sell these same things. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. With a lot of this LL Bean stuff, the kind of different atypical LL Bean. It hasn't worked out really well for me. But this one did sell, 1530. This is how you learn in this business. You have to try things out, see what works, see what doesn't, take notes, and get better every day. I would not pick up this piece again. And that's good. Learning is the most important metric in this business. There's nothing more important. If you can continue to learn every single day, and you can do that for years, you're going to be a monster a couple years down the road. And we've been doing this for 7 years now. So if you continue to take chances, try things, do research, look things up when you're at the thrift store, if you do that every day for years, you're just going to be a monster. And that's what it is. That's what it's all about. Next up is a new with tags G4. I buy and sell a lot of new with tags G4 that I find on retail clearance. This one's a men's size medium, bright, hot pink. Sold for full asking price, $54.99. I probably paid $29 for it. Not a great margin, but I can find these are plentiful. I find a lot of them. They always sell for me. Sometimes they take a little while. The G4 always sells for me. I can usually get them in multi-quantity. So one listing, set the quantity to 3 or 4, and then it makes a lot of sense to pick these up if you can find 3 of them, same size, same color, one listing, 1 round of photos, 1 round of measurements. This one took 34 days to sell. 34 days to sell. I think that was a multi-quantity one too. I'm not exactly sure. I don't remember. Tej, thank you so much. Pair character doing a shake sign. Oh, I can't say I can't see this little sign because I'm using my Restream tool. I can't see whatever the character is, but it's describing the character to me. Thank you, Tej. I appreciate that. That's really kind of you. I don't know what I did to deserve that, but I appreciate it nonetheless. I'm with you on that, Chris. I sold an Eddie Bauer down puffer this week from the bins 2 weeks ago. I think $28 from 2. I love Eddie down puffers. That's been a staple of my store for years. Those are great sellers, particularly this time of year for sure. I got 50 positive feedbacks last week, which is insane for me. I was thinking finally people are noticing my awesomeness. Then I saw your post about auto feedback and was humbled. Hey, 50 feedback is 50 feedback, but that is kind of funny. Workwear being they have a stain. There are a few thrift shops in the Midwest that do what they call workwear jeans, and they charge $1. I snag every one. Got it. I like it. I'm for it. And thank you again, Tej. That's really kind. Thanks everyone for being here. Appreciate you sharing a little bit of time with me here. We got more stuff to ship out. Don't you worry. Refine your style. Wow, nice. So gotcha. Yeah. Everybody's got to learn. Everybody's market has different opportunities, right? So you see me selling a lot of the lower end stuff. And I've talked about this on a live before. Everything for me is flat rate pricing typically at my thrift stores. So jeans and shirts and pants are all $5. And then blazers are all $7. Doesn't matter the brand, doesn't matter the size, doesn't matter the color. All the blazers are going to be $7. All the suits are $10. The jackets are either $6.99 or $9.99. I don't know why there's 2 different prices for jackets, but that's what happens. But everything's flat rate. It doesn't matter what the brand is. There's pros and cons to that. The pros are obviously I can get really good stuff for cheap prices. I can also sell stuff that sells in that $20 to $25 range. I can buy that stuff for $5 and still make margin on it. So those are the pros. The cons are when everything's flat rate, somebody's going to see an Arc'teryx jacket next to an LL Bean jacket, and they're going to buy the Arc'teryx jacket because both of them are going to be $7. Every time, like a consumer that doesn't even know the brand Arc'teryx, they're just going to feel it and they're like, man, this is a high quality jacket. So the consumer is going to buy it at $7. They're going to leave the LL Bean and they're going to take the Arc'teryx every single time. So what that means is that Arc'teryx isn't going to last very long in the store. So for me to find it at $7 is going to be really rare. I call it those items bounce off the rack. As soon as those goes out, somebody buys them. But if they priced up the Arc'teryx and they priced that at say $15 and the LL Bean was $7, that same consumer might be like, well, I'm not going to pay twice as much. That Arc'teryx jacket looks a little bit nicer. They don't care about resale value. They just want to buy a jacket, right? They're like, I'm going to buy the LL Bean one for $7. And then the Arc'teryx one sits in the store a little bit longer and it gives me a chance to come in and grab it. So, I think people get they get jealous. They're like, that's great that you find all this stuff at thrift stores for $5. Yeah, sure. There's some advantages to it for sure. It allows me to buy $20 to $25 items for $5. I can still make a little bit of margin there. Whereas if they were $10, it wouldn't be worth it. but that comes at the cost of the really, really good stuff in a flat rate pricing scenario sells really, really quickly. It just goes right off the rack because any old consumer is going to take the Arc'teryx over the LL Bean, assuming they both fit, right? So there's pros and cons to flat rate pricing. The cons is I don't find as much elite stuff because it just doesn't last as long in the thrift store. So you got to take the good with the bad, figure out what works in your area, and do your sourcing accordingly. I've sorted through my second to last box of CDs I've been working on the past 5 years. Wow, how many CDs are we talking in that box? It's crazy. Hello from Atlanta. What's up, Andrew? RZ Flippers is in the house. Is that real RZ Flippers? Is that the real? Love your reseller tips. Keep them coming. Appreciate you being here, Purple Tulip Shop. Nice name, by the way. Is that real RZ Flippers in the house? Appreciate all the vibes from people. We get so many like nice comments from people and nice messages. I don't know what I do to deserve this, but I appreciate all of you. Y'all are nice people. Next up is another LL Bean. This one's for Peggy. This is another one. I've had it for a couple of years. I just marked it down because it hadn't been selling. I priced it at $13.99. Brought the price down. I think I had it at like $17.99 or something like that. And it sold. And I just marked it down just a few weeks ago. I picked this up, though, thinking, you know, this is an elite pattern, right? Like a really awesome pattern. It's not a really common like colorway for LL Bean. So I was like, man, I think I can sell this pretty quickly at the top of the market just because it's a rare pattern. I just never see this like colorway pattern. It's a gingham check, you know, like pink. I'm like, I think it'll sell really quickly. It did not. It took me lowering the price to $13.99 to get it out the door. For me to pay $5 for the shirt and sell it for $13.99 does not make sense. It does not make sense. But I learned by buying these items from these kind of fringy brands to see like, can I make this work in my model? And this was a no. But I have sold like, once you get the price low enough, like if I bought this for $1 at the bins, $13.99, that's actually great. I would pick these up all the time. I'd pick up a ton of LL Bean if I found it at the bins for like $1. Because there's a lot of money to be made there. There's margin if you price these things at 14, 15, 16, 17 bucks, which is what LL Bean is commonly selling for. It's not going to sell for 20 or 25, not for basic shirts, right? If you find heavier pieces, corduroy stuff, flannel things, jackets, those will sell for good money. But these basic cotton shirts, they're not going to sell for 20 or 25 bucks. But if you can buy them for $1 at the bins and flip them for 14, 15, 16, 17 bucks, I think it's worth it. But for my model, that doesn't make sense. I sold it. I made a few bucks. That's fine. But that's not something I'll continue to pick up. But the only way I learn this stuff is by freaking trying it. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. 200 to 300. How come it's taken you 5 years to list 200 to 300 CDs? Let's go, Trisha. That should be like a long weekend. What's RZ? Yes, it is. That's awesome. The subtitles give this a news report feel. The subtitles give this an I don't have subtitles turned on. You might have them turned on your end. Like I don't control that. I don't see subtitles on my end, but it is a news report. This is what we're reporting. What sold over the weekend. This is hot news, brother. Next up is this is a really good find. And this is a quick flip too. I'm going to put that on the screen for you. I'm going to tell you how long it took to sell. This took 10 days to sell. 10 days to sell. It's a J. Peterman. And if you look, this is a band collar. So people call this a couple different things. There's some keywords here that really made this one go. So the J. Peterman Company, men's 2XL cotton banded collar poet Henley blue stripe. So the people will call this a poet shirt because it's only like a quarter button, almost like a polo or a Henley. And it doesn't have a collar, which makes it like a Henley, but they also refer to that as a banded collar or a band collar is what you can use for a keyword for that too. But poet shirt. Anyway, this sold for $45 on a best offer. I paid $5 for it at a thrift store. It took 10 days to sell. J. Peterman is a good brand to look for. The basic stuff doesn't sell as well, but when you can find unique stuff like this, like I sold a military style shirt, right? Where it has like the 2 chest flat pockets. I think it had epaulets too, like on the shoulders. You can find that like military look. That'll sell really good too. The style definitely matters, but with J. Peterman, if you can find unique ones, they sell for good money. $45 for a used shirt is an awesome selling price. For some of you, that's probably a new brand. Let me know down below in the chat, yes or no, or Y or N, if J. Peterman's a new brand for you. I pick up pretty much everything from J. Peterman, but definitely the unique stuff is going to sell a little bit better and for a little bit more money. $45 from a $5 sale is great. After fees on that, my fees will be about probably $8. So that's going to leave me with $37, and I paid $5. So $32 is going to be my profit, and I'm going to make about $1 so on the shipping too. So I'll make about $33 profit. That's after shipping. That's after fees. If you want to subtract my shipping materials too, you can do that. This shipping label cost me 2 cents. Remember, I print on a thermal label printer, so it uses no ink whatsoever. So 2 cents for this. The bag, the clear bag inside here was 6 cents, and this white bag on the outside is 6 cents. So 6, 12, 14 cents in shipping materials. And my little sticker there is another cent. So 15 cents, and you can subtract that from my profit too. People always say, like, what about all your shipping supplies? That costs so much. You never subtract that from your profits. Like, well, it's 15 cents. 15 cents in that case. Next up is an order for Roger. Great sale here. I think here's a teaching moment. Let me know if you like I've been trying to do more stories, and as another way to like offer teachable moments. Also, like kind of share some glimpses into what happens behind the scenes and what goes on the weekends for us in our life. But I did a story this morning about this Peter Millar. I got a comment over the weekend on a post. I sold this Peter Millar for $34.99 plus $6.95 shipping. So the buyer's all in for $42 on this. And someone said $35 is crazy for Peter Millar. And you know what I said? You got to look beyond the brand, yo. Like, not every item from Peter Millar is going to be worth $35 in used condition, but this thing has some things going for it. So number one, it's a summer comfort, which tends to be more desirable Peter Millar. It has an all-over print, or what we often call AOP. See you later, Miss Tempting, which we call AOP. It also has a country club logo this is Champions Golf Club, which is a really well-known, highly rated course in Texas. So desirable country club plus an all-over print on a summer comfort is almost always worth $35 if you can find a really good golf course. Not all golf course logos are going to command that, but people who are looking for Champions Club will pay $35 for this shirt, and somebody did. And I'm going to look up Champions Club. Actually, I probably put it in my listing. I probably already did this research. Let me look real quick. So Champions Club, got it, has been home to 1 Ryder Cup, 1 US Open, and 5 Tour Championships, right? So they're playing some of the best tournaments at this course. 1 Ryder Cup, 1 US Open, and 5 Tour Championships have been played at the Champions Club. So we're talking about a really elite course that's part of, that's often on the PGA Tour for some of their bigger events. That's why this shirt is worth $35. And anytime you can find a highly rated course like this with an all-over print, it's easy $35. And you can get more for some of them too, by the way. $35 isn't like, that's not like, holy crap, how'd you get $35 for this? I priced this like competitively. You can see shirts like this go for $50, $60 from some of these courses. So I sold some Whispering Pines Country Club Peter Millar all over prints, and I think they sold in the same like general like $35, maybe close to $40 for those too. I sold a couple of those last month. So this isn't like an aberration. It's not like I overpriced it and got lucky. It also sold really quick, by the way, too. So let's see how long it took to sell. People say that like you got lucky or whatever. It's because you have a social media following. Those things are not true. This one sold in 11 days for that full asking price, $34.99. So if you can learn those country club logos, that shirt would typically sell, if it didn't have the all over print, if it was just a normal stripe, it would sell for like $20 to $22. With the all over print, you can get like $25, $27, $28 for that shirt. You throw on a country club that's desirable like that on top of it, easy $35, maybe as much as $40 for that piece. Found some Jack Archer pants today. Nice Bronco vintage, new to me, an amazing sell-through rate. Yeah, that's awesome. I've only found Jack Archer pants once, and I think I still have them in inventory. I just found them like maybe 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, Jack Archer. So that's a good one. I've been looking for that for a while and finally pulled myself some Jack Archers myself. So great find, brother. No, this box has 2 to 300. It's the second to last box out of the storage unit of CD. Okay, a whole storage unit. That makes a little more sense. I was confused, but now I get it. Thank you for all those positive vibes, Miss Tempting Treasures. That's so kind of you. What do we do to deserve all these nice people? Next up, probably another good teaching moment on this one too. Callaway is not a highly desirable golf brand. If you think about like the high-end golf brands that are really hot right now, Callaway is not one of those brands. So I don't buy and sell much Callaway, but this one here is a hoodie it's a full zip golf hoodie. The retail price is $88, and it's brand new with tags. So brand new with tags, golf hoodie. I think I paid $13 for this on clearance, if I remember correctly, and this sold for $36. So I turned 13 into 36 on this. And I had it listed for $39.99. So this was a nifty best offer. My cross lister sent out a 10% off offer to this person because they watched the item on eBay. So 10 minutes later, after somebody watches something on eBay, Nifty automatically sends a 10% off offer. So in this case, Robert accepted that offer without me having to do anything. I wasn't part of the conversation. So I love that feature. It gets me extra sales every single day, really. And let's see, I had some other ones too. That LL Bean that sold for $15.30, that was on a nifty best offer. And I think I had a Poshmark sale over the weekend that was nifty best offer. This pair of Mutton Bow jeans that we'll get to, that was a nifty best offer. So that's 2. And actually, the next Poshmark order was a nifty best offer too. Although they got my nifty best offer, they countered, and I just countered at the price that Nifty started with and got the sale. So you can give Nifty the credit for 3 sales over the weekend for just from that offer tool, that auto offer tool. I haven't talked about Nifty at all, but today I should. It's just woven into my business. It's so important to everything I do. When I pick up low sell-through rate items, the reason I'm doing that is because I have Nifty to cross-list my items to multiple platforms, so I have a bigger audience. Number 2, I promote on eBay, which is really big. That has nothing to do with eBay, but I promote on eBay, which allows me to sell low sell-through rate items better because they show up higher in search results. I use Nifty's automation tools like auto sharing, auto delisting, and relisting to help my items show up higher in search results, which helps me sell these low sell-through rate items. And then Nifty is also sending out these 10% off offers constantly every single day. And that helps me get extra sales every day too, which allows me again to sell lower sell-through rate items. There's a lot of people in this business, and there's more than one way to do this business. This is just the way I do it. There's a lot of people in this business who only sell on eBay, right? That's their only platform. And Billy Bob says, 100% true on Callaway. But you can sell, if you get the pieces cheap enough from some of these lower end brands, you can still sell them, especially if you do all these other things that I do. Take really good photos, use good keywords, promote on eBay, cross-list to multiple platforms, use Nifty's automation tools to show up higher in search results, and the auto offer tools to close deals. You can sell low sell-through rate items, but if you skip some of those steps, it's going to be a lot harder to sell some of these items. But anyway, this Callaway's out the door. If you want to check out Nifty, I just put a link down below in the chat. It's my cross-listing tool. It's my automation tool. And actually, it has AI listing built into it. So all the items that I list now, and that's been true for about 2.5 months now, almost 3 months, everything I list, I use AI, I use Nifty's built-in AI like listing generation tool. So it saves me a lot of time every single day on my listings, which is, it's just a big part of my business. It's a big reason I get a competitive advantage and can sell a lot of things that other people can't. I got so many comments on my posts lately about Levi's jeans, and people say, I can't sell any Levi's jeans, period. And I respond and I say, I've sold 124 pairs of Levi's jeans so far this year, and I'm going to sell 90 in the next 90 days. And people are like, I can't sell any. I haven't sold any Levi's jeans all year long. And the difference, obviously this business isn't just finding good items. That's half the battle. Finding good items is what people think. That's it. So if you find the same items I find, we're going to have the same success. It's not true. It couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, you also have to get good at selling those items too. So you got to find good items, and then you got to get good at selling those good items too. Otherwise, they sit around. So that's why we teach people constantly in this. Anybody who listens to what we say about reselling, our model is that we cross list all our inventory. We use really great keywords. We have better photos than our competition. We promote on eBay. We use Nifty's automation tools to show up higher in search results. We use Nifty's auto offer tool to close deals consistently. And of course, we built in efficiencies. That's the other thing. So you got to get good at three things if you want to get good at this business, grow and scale. Number one is you got to learn how to find the right items that are in demand. Number two, you got to get good at selling these items. Just because you're slapping them up with a listing doesn't mean your listing is going to get you as much sales as my listings will or somebody else's. Remember, we're competing with each other too. Number three is you've got to start building systems where you get efficiency, right? Where you're not spending a lot of time doing this so you can get more items and list more items and sell more items. So if you get really efficient with your sourcing schedule, you get really efficient with the way that you list items, and then you get really efficient with your shipping station and have everything in one place and do things in batches. That's where you get that efficiency, right? Where you can make more dollars per hour. That frees you up to have more time to source, more time to list and all that stuff. So it's three things: get good at finding stuff, get good at selling stuff, and then build some efficiencies, some systems into your game so that you can really jam. And that's it. But so many people say, I can't sell Levi's. It's like, well, you're not doing all the things that I'm saying. You're just listing them, but you're not taking great photos. You're not including measurements in all your listings. You're not using great keywords. You're not promoting on eBay. You're not cross-listing to multiple platforms to increase your audience. You're not using automation tools to show up higher in search results. You have to do all those things if you want to sell a low sell-through rate item like Levi's. Levi's jeans are a low sell-through rate item. But if you get good at selling and follow all those steps, you can sell a ton of Levi's. You can do the exact same thing I do. A lot of people think it's because, Chris, it's because you have a big store. Chris, it's because you have a social media following. That's why. My social media followers aren't buying stuff from me. They're learning reselling tips. They don't want to buy Levi's from me for $22. Why would they do that? They want to go to a thrift store and find them for $5. So my followers aren't buying from me. Those aren't the advantages. The advantages are the things that I say every single day in all of my posts. I tell people exactly what I do, why I'm able to sell low sell-through rate items. There's no secrets. There's no tricks. And Nifty is a big part of it. I linked it down below in the chat. You can find the link, below this video. You can find it at chrisatpeak.com. It's a free trial. You can check it out. It's 15% off your first month if you do like that trial and decide to sign up. Why not? What do you got to lose? I put that link down below in the chat. I'll drop it again just in case you missed it. It's not my only competitive advantage, but it is a big part of it. Is a big part of cross-listing and automation tools and that AI listing generation. It saves me time. We list things a lot quicker because we use that nifty AI listing tool. And that took us some time too. We weren't like really fast at using the AI listing tool the first week. It took us some time to get some rhythm, build a new system around it. And now it's actually quite a bit faster. I've been so encouraged. I'm glad. We lay out exactly what we do. Now, is this the only way to do it? No, it's not the only way to do it. There's other people who run their business. Again, they just list on eBay. They don't promote at all. And they just smash out pictures, and they only pick high sell-through rate items. There's a whole model. There's another really popular reseller creator that's out there who's been out there for years on YouTube, and he teaches people only to pick up high sell-through rate items, only to list on eBay, not to promote their items, don't cross list, don't use any automation tools, just buy high sell-through rate items. And that's great. That's a great model. The bottom line is, though, that's not going to work in my area. If I just picked up high sell-through rate items, didn't promote those items, only sold on eBay, I would be out of business. Or I would have to have a full-time job. There's just no other way around it. It's a great model, what that creator teaches. There's nothing wrong with that model, except it won't work where I live. I wouldn't be able to sell enough stuff every week and every month to stay in business full-time. I had to figure out my own way. And my own way is promoting everything on eBay. It's cross-listing everything on multiple platforms. It's having better photos than anybody else. It's putting measurements in every single listing, and it's using automation tools to help me show up better in search results. It's the way that it works here because I can find lower sell-through rate items consistently for cheap money, and I can sell a whole bunch of that stuff. So that's my model. That's what I teach. There's other ways to do this, and they're all good. But you just got to think about, what does your area offer? And then how do you make the best of what your area offers? And that's what every seller has to do. There's no one size fits all for this sort of thing. So hope that helps. I only buy coffee from Chris at Peak. I appreciate that, Trisha Smith. You're nice. I am posting 7 Levi's today. Let's go, Nick. Nick Smith sells more Levi's than I do. I got my scale, but no thermal printer yet. Nice. You're building your systems. I like it. You're getting some efficiencies and all that. Appreciate that, WK. Appreciate your vibes. The nifty cross-listing function alone pay for itself. 3 posts and 1 every time for me. Yep, I agree. I use all the nifty stuff though. I'm using the automation tools. I'm using the AI lister. I'm using all that stuff. I have to rewatch this live. I missed over half. You can always rewatch these lives on YouTube and Facebook. As soon as the live's over, you can watch the whole thing. You can fast forward through boring stuff. You can rewind to catch important stuff. It's a beautiful thing. We got a couple more sales. We had a vote for Amazon second, so we're going to do this Amazon sale. On Amazon, brands like this, Dockers, these really more common brands actually sell better than the stuff that sells on eBay. So you can see the retail price of these is $66, and these sold for $35.54. However, I have sold a lot of Dockers for close to retail price, like a $66 pair of Levi's. I've sold for $49, $50 pretty consistently before. It just kind of depends on the item and the market at that given time. But this one only sold for $32.98 on these. Bought these retail clearance. I don't remember how much I paid for these. Typically, I'm going to pay like for Dockers, it's going to be in like the $10 to $13 range. I'm not sure what I paid for these ones, but again, Amazon's a little bit a much different beast. I don't have to take any photos for Amazon. I don't have to take any measurements from Amazon. I just have to scan the UPC number and then set a price. So a lot less work per item, but also a much higher return rate, which is kind of, that's the trade-off there. I was really hot to trot about Amazon last year around this time. I was really building it, really excited about it. I wouldn't describe myself as really excited about Amazon at this point. I haven't been putting much energy at all into it over the last 6 months. I do still have some Amazon inventory. I occasionally pick up new Amazon inventory, but I just don't put a lot of energy into it. So I just don't have as many Amazon sales anymore. I really got disenfranchised by the return rate. The last time I checked my return rate, and I'm doing mostly clothing, the return rate was around 21%, which, when you're paying shipping to the customer and back to you on all those returns, it's just a lot. There's a lot of costs associated with those returns. So you haven't seen me shipping out as much Amazon lately because I haven't been putting the work in on Amazon, and that's been kind of calculated. This time of year, Amazon can be it can be really good for clothing this time of year because you're getting into that like holiday shopping season, the fall. I think fall clothing is it tends to sell for more money than summertime clothing. Anyway, this can be a really good time of year. I just haven't been putting time and energy into it. I talked about these Mott & Bow jeans about a month ago when I picked these up. Let's see here. Stay tuned. Well, I thought it was a month ago. Maybe I did pick them up a month ago. I don't remember, but I listed them 8 days ago. So Mott & Bow, they're women's, they're skinny jeans. And you hear a lot of people say, don't buy skinny jeans. Nobody's buying skinny jeans anymore. Well, let me know down below in the chat if you still wear and buy skinny jeans. This is like for the ladies mostly. But a lot of people are saying, don't buy skinny jeans. Nobody buys them anymore. So when I looked up these, Mott & Bow is a great brand. It sells better for men's and women's. And wide leg and straight leg and flare are all going to sell better. That is true. Those things are in style. Skinny is going out of style. Wide leg, flare, all that stuff is more in style. They sell better. But Mott & Bow, I picked these up for, I think these were half price. I think I paid $3.50 for these. They're $7 at this one thrift store I go to, and they were on a color tag sale. My Goodwills don't do color tag sales. This is like a little mom and pop. So I got these for $3.50. And when I looked them up, the skinny jeans, I was like, well, a lot of people have them listed for the $30 to $35 range. And there's some people that are selling them for like $25 to $30, like in that range. But if I can buy these for $3.50, I can price these at $24.99 and take offers. And, or I think I listed them for $23.99 and take offers. And that's what I did. Yeah. And I'm like, I can sell these really quickly. They sold in 8 days. I paid $3.50. They sold for $21 on Poshmark. That was on a nifty best offer. So 8 days to sell, $350. I'm into $21. So Poshmark takes $20%. So $4.20 is what Poshmark took. So that leaves me with $16.80. And then if you subtract my cost of goods at $350, I made $13.30 on these jeans, and they only took 8 days to sell. So you gotta listen with like a really careful ear when people say stuff. Yes, straight leg, flare, wide leg, that stuff sells better right now. It has better sell-through rates. But if you can get your cost of goods right and price below the market, there's money to be made on things like skinny jeans. People are still buying them. We have an example right there in the chat. Let me know if I'm saying your name right. Leza? I'm trying there. Yes, with boots. So people are still buying them. Do you also sell on Whatnot? Some eBay seller do that. I've sold like, I think 2,400 units on Whatnot, but I haven't run a Whatnot now in over a year. It's just not, I moved away from it a little over a year ago. I needed to scale the eBay, Poshmark, and also Amazon business at the time. So I had to subtract Whatnot and really put energy into this business, what I'm shipping right now. I love Whatnot. I think it's a great tool, but I think for the stuff I'm finding in my area and the volume of stuff I'm able to find, Whatnot wasn't working as well. I was also doing a lot of consignment on there too. It wasn't working as well for my business as what this is. So you can't do everything. It's hard to be really good at everything. And I just decided, I was like, look, I really need to scale up this. You know, Kim got laid off from her job. She was like in between jobs. She was working a contract position. We needed to make money. I needed to make more money. So I was like, what's the best way for me to make more money fast? I was like, it's to do what I do best. I know how to sell stuff on eBay and Poshmark, and I was building up Amazon at the time. I was like, this is the right move for me, is to focus on those things and not Whatnot. And it was the right decision. It was absolutely the right decision. That said, I love Whatnot. It is a great place to sell, but it's also a great place to source. I still source on Whatnot too, but I think it deserves time and energy, you know, to be just like I sell every now and again on Whatnot. I think that's really tough. I think being really consistent on Whatnot is the key, at least in my opinion. I was doing a weekly show, and at one point in time I was doing 2 shows a week, and I was just really consistent, like same time, same day of the week. And I think that's the model to really succeeding on Whatnot, showing up just very, very consistently. And I realized I just didn't have the time to do that. I needed to really focus on eBay, Poshmark, and at the time Amazon, and that's what I did. So anyway, it's a long answer to something that you asked, but yes, I've sold, I think 2,400 items on Whatnot. I love that platform. It's really good, but you got to put the time and energy into it. So these Mountain Bow jeans took 8 days to sell. I paid $350. They sold for $21. So if you're in an area where you can get inventory cheap, like from the bins or from tag sales at your local thrift stores, when you get stuff half off or 75% off, don't forget about like things like skinny jeans and stuff. If you can price them at the bottom of the market, there's still money to be made. And that's all I did. I just priced it lower than everybody else and got a quick sale and was able to still get my margin. I made $13.30. 8 days, quick flip. I like it. $13.30, that's net profit. And on these Poshmark orders, we switched over to Poshmark, by the way. On these Poshmark orders, I use the USPS priority. They're free shipping supplies. I often use this padded flat rate. It's the most common thing I use for Poshmark for clothing, but I get these free from USPS.com. They get delivered to my front door. I can use any of my shipping supplies for Poshmark, but I have to pay for most of these supplies. Why not use the free ones from USPS.com? So that's what we do. Next up is, you've seen me selling these boots. I bought these retail arbitrage, got a whole bunch of them. And these are Solomon. They're brand new in the box. They're women's Gore-Tex hiking boots. These sold for a best offer $89. I had them listed for $99. Nifty sent this. Somebody liked the item, which is, her name is Crescentia. I did hear my name. What's up, Kimo? Crescentia, I think is her name. So anyway, she liked this item on Poshmark. Nifty sent her a best offer 10 minutes after she hit that like button for $89. She came back with a counter offer of $84, and I just countered that back with $89. Like, that's my best price, and she agreed to it. So Nifty gets the assist on this sale too, kind of, even though I had to close the deal. Nifty started the conversation. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to use one of these USPS Priority 1095 boxes, free from USPS.com. I use these for new in-box shoes that sell on Poshmark. You can see this box ain't gonna fit shoes. There's no freaking way, right? Well, we're gonna do a really quick resizing of this box. So I'm gonna use the box itself as my guide, basically, to show. I could like mark this off with a pen or something, or a marker, but I don't need to. I can just use the edge of my table to do this fold right here. So edge of the table, fold that over. I'm going to take this box, I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to spin it. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other edge. So we're basically just reshaping or resizing this box. Boom, fold it. So now when I open this up, you can see it is a different shape right now. So this is the 1095 box, which is great for like suits and blazers and some jackets and stuff like that. But I can just resize it just like that to fit shoes, new in-box shoes too. USPS Priority also has a shoe box, which is great, but it won't fit. It's not big enough to fit new in-box shoes for the most part. So for new in-box shoes, I just use this 1095. I have to cut the new flaps. Sure, I purchase boxes. So when I ship these out on eBay, I have boxes that are 14 by 10 by 6 is the size. But those cost me about $1 a piece or $1.20 a piece. So why not use these free ones from USPS Priority? It takes me just about an extra, I don't know, minute, maybe 90 seconds to resize this. There we go. And just like that. And you can see, look at that. Perfect. This is going to Crescentia. Thank you. $89 sale here. That's that. So those are the 2 Poshmark sales from the weekend. Well, I shouldn't say for the weekend. I had a couple more that I shipped on Saturday, but 2 sales in the last 48 hours from Poshmark. So not a great Poshmark weekend. Have you ever parted a sea or moved mountains? Something like that. What did I miss here? I can turn water into wine. Yes, chemo. That's why I love Poshmark and its buyers. They don't mind priority, and it's so easy. Yep, I'm a big fan. I like the way Poshmark does things. I wish eBay did them similar. It would be so much easier for new sellers to get up to speed if eBay offered similar shipping as Poshmark, which is flat rate up to £5. What's up, Bob? How are you? We're in Oregon yet. Do you get the brand Rare Bunny? The item is made from India, 100% cotton. Also, what about Christian Dior Boutique Paris, made in Hong Kong? Anna, I don't know the brand Rare Bunny. I've never heard of that one before, but thank you for sharing. Christian Dior, yeah, I come across some of their stuff from time to time. Not a super common find, but yeah, I like picking it up when I can find it, especially if I can find it in good condition. I tried Whatnot also, but it's like you just throw away good stuff for a low price. EJC, it definitely takes time on Whatnot. If you want to, Chemo, drop your name down below so EJC can follow you. Chemo is building, him and his wife are building up their Whatnot. I think they just started, 2 months ago? Just started doing Whatnot and are figuring out and have a model that they're working on that's actually doing really well already. And it's only been a couple of months. So Chemo, if you can drop your Whatnot name down below for EJC, Chemo would be a great he also has great stuff. Some of the stuff I buy and I flip it on eBay because they sell it for great prices. But if you want to follow along someone who's building the model from scratch, they don't have a social media following, right? They're just doing Whatnot the right way. They're showing up every single Thursday at the same time every week. They're not doing $1 starts, right? They're setting a start price at like $29 or 35, whatever the item is. It varies depending on the item. And they bring really good inventory consistently. They put the time and energy into it. They put on a good show. They're building relationships with customers. They're getting repeat business from those customers. They're building it the old fashioned way, the way that you would build a business. If you had, like, on Main Street in your town, if you were going to open a clothing store, you'd have to be really consistent. You have to build relationships with customers. You have to price aggressively. You'd have to build up your name. And that's what Chemo and Dory are doing on their Whatnot. So a lot of people think Whatnot is just for content creators, like people with social media presence. And certainly that is an advantage that anybody that has a social media following, you should use that as an advantage to build your Whatnot. Why not? But even with that advantage, you still need to do the things that Chemo is doing and Dory are doing with it. And that's their name right there on Whatnot, South Texas Resell. You can see it right there. So that's what you got to do. Give them a follow over there on Whatnot. And I think I can actually, let me do you one better. I'm just going to go get the link. If you want to watch a couple build Whatnot from scratch with no advantages from social media, they're just doing it the right way, then follow them. I'm going to get you a direct link since Chemo didn't put the direct link in there. I got to do the work for you, Chemo. Let's see. Bear with me. Come on. Where's the share button here? It's really easy to do on mobile. I'll just do it from mobile. I'm old, I don't know technology. Excuses. There it is right there. So that's the direct link to Chemo and Dory. If you want to just watch people, they're just putting in the work and they're having some good success, but they're just scratching the surface. They're going to be doing so well on there because they're putting in the time and energy. How do you do your business stickers? I use the Photo Room app, which is what I use for a lot of my social media posts and what I use for my white background tool for all my listings on eBay and stuff. It's called Photo Room. It's a free app. I have the paid version because I like a lot of their pro tools that come with the paid version, but I use Photo Room to make those stickers. Do you think a Neiman Marcus blouse with holes would sell? Thank you for advice. Anything will sell, Anna, right? So I would just take a look at what similar Neiman Marcus blouses, what are they selling for on eBay? Like, what sale price are they getting? And then if yours has holes, you'll have to price yours, a good step down. So if you see that Neiman Marcus blouses are selling for $20 on eBay on average, then what you'll want to do is probably price yours at like $15, right? If you priced yours at $19 as $1 cheaper, you're probably not going to convince somebody to, they're going to save $1 to get some holes. Probably not. But if they can save $5 and it has like a hole or two, then they might do that. So if you see that they're priced at 20, undercut that price by like $5, price it at 15 maybe. So anything will sell if you're priced right. So just do your price research, see what they're selling for, and take it from there. Are the people that are wearing clothes AI? I don't understand the question, Becky, but thank you. I don't know. Thank you, sir. My compadre. Yes, sir. What did I mess up here? I'm following them to learn. There you go, Becky. Everyone thinks it's only people that are social media, that have social media following, that are successful and whatnot. And that is just simply not true. In fact, a lot of you know probably ZK Styles. She's on right now, actually. ZK Style. She's got 122 people in her show right there, top right corner. And yeah, she's probably got the biggest show that's live right now. Let me think. No, there's other people who have bigger lives, but 122 is pretty good. 122 is a big show. She had no social media following before she did all this. She just showed up every single night with good inventory, gave people great deals, brought energy, and just kept showing up. Now she's one of the bigger sellers on Whatnot, period. And she didn't have any social media. Now she's got a following because people have followed her on Whatnot, right? And they want to say, like, how has she been so successful on Whatnot? So they follow her on social media. But she didn't have that before Whatnot. She built it from the ground up. She showed up every day. She brought good inventory. She gave people good prices, and she had a really good positive attitude about it. I'm thrifting in Asheville area right now. Nice Bass and Coffee. I hope you find some really good stuff. I do have one more sale that came in right before we went live. I grabbed it, but I didn't print out the shipping label. So let's go through that process. We'll ship that Bad Larry out right now. So this is a brand that is another example of a low sell-through rate brand with with low average sale prices that I do pick up from time to time. I don't do particularly well with it, but sometimes I'll pick it up and do okay. So the brand is called Charles Tyrwhitt. It's actually a really expensive British formal wear brand. Their blazers and suits actually do really well if you can find those. The shirts, they just don't have great resale value. This one right here was tagged as a 1937, but it was altered. I didn't realize this till I got home. It was altered. Sleeve length's actually 33.5, not 37. So in the item title, I wrote Charles Tyrwhitt men's 19, which is the neck size, and 33.5, which is the sleeve size. And then I just mentioned in the description of this item that the tag says 1937, yes, but the actual measurement is 33.5. It was professionally altered, which is true. So really nicely like altered, good sewing and all that stuff. So I listed this and I got an offer for $16.99. Actually, I went back and forth with this customer, but anyway, it sold for $16.99 plus $6.95 shipping. I paid $5 for it at a thrift store. That's typically what these shirts sell for. They're going to sell for like $15 to $20. If you can find French cuffs, you might be able to get a little bit more. Big sizes tend to do a little bit better. Really good modern patterns do well too. A flat blue, not bad. So this is a big size, 1933.5. We'll get this shipped out. I haven't printed out the shipping label yet because it just came in. I wouldn't suggest picking up Charles Tyrwhitt if you are not doing all the things that I do. If you're not promoting on eBay, if you're not cross-listing to multiple platforms, if you're not using automation tools to show up higher in search results, if you're not taking really great photos that are better than your competition, Charles Tyrwhitt would be a brand to stay away from. It just doesn't sell for enough and it doesn't have a high enough sell-through rate. But if you do all those things, I think you can be selective with Charles Tyrwhitt. If you can get it for $5 or less, you can make a few bucks, fill up your store. But it's not a great seller. I wouldn't go crazy about Charles Tyrwhitt. I pick it up from time to time when I have a good feeling about it. Usually a good feeling means it's a big size and a nice modern pattern. And that's what this one was here too. But still, $17 plus $6.95 shipping. You're not going to get rich off something like this. So let's get the shipping label printed out. This is going to William. Everybody gets a thank you card in all my orders. It's got my QR code on there that brings them to my website. It's also got my website on there, and it says thank you. So this is going to William. And on the back of that card, I just write William, thank you, Chris. A little personal touch. I'm trying to want everybody that has an experience with my store to have a good experience. And I look for little ways to have a touch that other, by doing low amounts of effort to increase the experience. And to me, buying a card that cost me less than, I think they're 3.5 cents a piece is what I pay for those cards. And then for me to take 10 seconds to write the person's name and thank you on there, to me is just a small little bit of energy to lift the experience a little bit too. And I'm not saying that everybody should do what I just did there, but if you think about business that way and you're like, how do I compete with other people? How do I beat them? And it's like, well, find what little things that you can do that are low lifts, low energy, or low cost that can show that you're maybe like working harder or creating a little bit of a better experience for that customer. And if you do that over and over and over and over and over thousands of times, then you could get yourself something special going on. But you're competing with people in this business. Any little advantage you can gain, as long as it doesn't cost you a lot of money and take you a lot of time, I think is worth considering. All right, so that's a 12-ounce rate. That's going to cost me $5.51 for the shipping label. So let's talk about the economics of this exact sale right here. I'll get into the nitty-gritty Let me just print out this shipping label. So this is a low margin sale. Why isn't that printing? Huh. I'll go over the numbers in a second once I figure out what's up with this printer. It's mad at me. When in doubt, pull the plug and plug it back in. There it goes. It's kind of looking a little dusty. I could probably use like a little canned air in there, but turned it off, turned it back on. Maybe it'll work. Maybe. Wait for it. Huh. What is going on here? I'm going to close the shipping queue. Let's try it one more time. Nope. Oh, there it goes. Not sure what happened there, but it's working. That's awesome, WK. I'm glad that you're following them. They're doing a great job. I pop into their shows a lot just to kind of see how they're doing and kind of take notes. I think everybody should follow them and just watch what they're doing. You know, most of the secrets to all these businesses are kind of out there in the wide open, right? You just got to follow people who are a few steps ahead of you and watch exactly what they're doing. It's usually pretty easy to figure out. Just started Whatnot and don't get many views. It's got to take time, Costanza Shop. There's no other way around it. If you're consistent about it, you bring positive energy, you give people great deals, you bring great consistent inventory to your shows, it'll build over time, and it won't build fast. You'll have to put in the work first, but you're probably already figuring that out. That's a good question for Chemo. I'm not sure about the answer to that question. I'm not sure. She never stops. I love her. That's awesome. Do you still pick up Paul and Shark? I'm always going to answer all these questions. Oops, cheap. And the answer is it depends. It depends on the style. It depends on the price. You know, so I would just, whatever you find that's Paul and Shark, I would just look up the sell-through rate on eBay, look up the average sale price, compare it to your buy cost, and compare it to whatever your model is, right? Whether you want to make $15 an item or you have an ROI percentage that you're looking for. But I would say, and you could ask me about like 20 other brands, right? And I'm going to say, well, kind of depends on the style and the size and the color. I'm going to look up whatever it is. I'm going to see what the sell-through rate is for that particular item in that model. And I'm going to look at what the average sale price is. I'm going to consider the season also. And then I'm going to make a decision based on my buy cost and what my model is. So everybody's a little bit different. So that's the same answer for pretty much every brand that you can drop down there. There might be a couple brands where I pick up everything from, but that's not the case most of the time. The boost sticker on the package, what I'm talking about, you do that with Photo Room. That's right. Oops, cheap. I use Photo Room for that. Yep. It always depends. Just sold an Old Navy t-shirt for $30. It's crazy. It always depends is right, Nick Smith. That's crazy, by the way, that Old Navy t-shirt for $30. That's you got me curious. Let's look at the numbers, like the finances of this exact sale, and I'll bring up the exact numbers here. So just give me 1 second. I'll bring up that sale and we'll look at all the fees that were paid and whatever. Paid and shipped. Does Nifty take care of removing your sold item from a platform? I got dinged on eBay because I forgot to remove the item when it's sold on another platform. Yes, it's one of the best features of Nifty is that as soon as an item sells, say in this case, it sounds like I got a ding from eBay. So it sounds like it's sold maybe on Poshmark. When that item sells on Poshmark, Nifty has what's called auto sales detection. It detects that sale within a minute or two, and it's going to go to the other platforms, eBay, Mercari, Depop, whatever you use, and it's going to take down that listing. You don't have to click anything. It just happens automatically. It can happen overnight while you're sleeping. You don't need your computer on. You don't need your phone on. It just happens in the background. Some of these other these other cross listers, you need to leave your computer on, not in sleep mode or whatever. You don't have to do that with Nifty. You can have you don't even need to own a computer, and Nifty will take down that item for you. It does it automatically. You don't have to click anything. It's auto sales detection and automatic delist. So it all just happens in the background. I sold some Beanie Babies last night for 22. I saw that post, Trisha. I like it. It was a made in the USA navy blue that said Old Navy embroider on the front. Sick. It's funny how that stuff is like hot right now. It is funny. All right, so let's look at this exact sale. I'm going to go to view order details. I had to counter offer something. Sorry. All right. So that item sold for $16.99 plus $6.95 shipping. The buyer paid $1.70 in sales tax. So the order total was $25.64. After my shipping label, which was $5.51, the transaction fee, which is $3. I can show you all this stuff. Can I share it without showing you their name? I can. Let's just share it. That's easier. I'm just like shouting out numbers. So bottom right corner, you can see all this stuff. Scroll that up a little. There you go. So you can see the item sold for $16.99, $6.95 shipping. Buyer paid $1.70 for sales tax. And then if you can see down below, you can see the transaction fees were $3.33. The shipping label cost me $5.51, and then the ad fee, which is my promotion rate, cost me $1.56. So they bought this. They clicked on a promoted listing, so it cost me an extra $1.56. So my order earnings after all fees, after all shipping, $13.54. I paid $5 for that item though. So my cost of goods was $5. I subtract that, I made $8.54. And again, like my packaging ends up costing about $15 a unit. So after you subtract that 15 cents, I made $8.40 on that Charles Tyrwhitt. Not great profit, but it also didn't take very long to sell. If I look at it. No, it did. It took a while to sell. It took 5 months to sell too. So not a great pickup. I mean, Charles Tyrwhitt, I pick up some low sell-through rate items. I don't pick up all the Charles Tyrwhitts. I pick up some of them. I got unlucky with that one because when I got it home, it had been altered. The sleeve was shorter, but that's just an example. So low margin item right there. But again, sometimes I try and I learn on brands by doing that. ZK, not WK, Z, like xylophone, ZK Styles. I'm a new LLC seller on Whatnot, a newer LLC seller on Whatnot, and just started listening. Best piece of advice for new sellers that you wish you knew or did in the beginning. What do you mean by LLC? What's an LLC seller? I just want to make sure I understand what your like fully is going on here. What does an LLC seller mean? What is your promoted listing percentage? I always do 2.1% for all my, I promote at 6%, but I move it around a lot too. So I might say 6 today and it might be different tomorrow. So try different things and see what works for you. What's up, Kelsey? I always see you walk in, or sometimes they, no, the pronunciation's Z though. Pronunciation's Z. So yeah, let me know. But for newer sellers in general, best piece of advice for new sellers: just be consistent. There's nothing more important than that consistency. Find yourself a little rhythm and routine, and just be consistent as possible. I'm registered as an LLC. Okay, that's sort of irrelevant to the whole conversation, but I just wanted to make sure I understood what you there. Just be consistent. So if you're going to be on Whatnot and eBay, just be consistent. Show up at the same time, at the same day on Whatnot, and bring good consistent inventory, bring a good consistent positive attitude, be really grateful for every sale. And on eBay, just list very consistently, find and source items every single day, or find and source as frequently as possible. If you have a full-time job, whatever, if you can only source one day a week, that's fine. That's how I did it. I started on Saturday mornings. That's all I did, is I sourced Saturday morning. That was it. And that's how I first built my business, was just doing that. So just be consistent. So that meant I went every Saturday. Just find whatever is going to be consistent for you and stick to it. That's like the best piece of advice for any business, right? Is just keep showing up, being really consistent, over and over and over and over. And over time, that's where you start getting success. Postal guy's here. I'm going to go bring this stuff outside. One second. What's up, man? How you doing, buddy? No complaints here. Well, you got no returns. That makes me happy. I got a couple more. Junk mail. You're welcome, John. I know it wasn't like really detailed advice, but honestly, if you think it through, if you just apply consistency to whatever you're doing, I think that's probably the most powerful advice you'll probably get. Have you ever sold a Scotty vest textile? I have. I think I have one in my inventory right now. Those Scotty vests are great sellers. Sounds like you found one. I like it. Picking up some Joseph A. Banks wool pea coats, like this guy Chris recommended. That's a great seller. You probably saw my sale from last week. I think I sold it for like $55 or something like that. And you can get more money as we get closer and closer to those being super in season. But yeah, those are great pickups. Kelsey, good luck out there. Hope you have a great week. Everybody, thank you. I'm going to sign off for the day. Wishing you a great rest of your Monday. Have a great week ahead. Find some really cool stuff. Stay curious out there. Take the extra time. Look something up that you never heard of before. And you might be surprised how much these items are worth. I find new brands every single week that I'm out in the wild. I've been doing this for 7 years. And that habit of being curious, looking things up when you find something new is a great habit, because not only might you find something that is new that you've never found before, but you might find that a brand that wasn't hot a couple years ago is finally hot again. So be curious, keep moving those feet, learn every single day. I'll see you next time. We'll be back live again Monday around 11 a.m.-ish Eastern time. We were late today, but we had some stuff going on. We had to drop off a car. Whatever. We were late today, but we still showed up. We showed up. We'll show up next Monday around 11 a.m. Eastern time. And I hope you have a great week. We'll see you then. Peace.